What if I told you the most important battlefield of the next decade isn't Ukraine or Taiwan? It's Texas, and the weapon isn't nuclear, it's compute. Right now, a $500 billion intelligence hub called Stargate is rising in the heart of Abilene. And it's not just data, it's control. Before we get into it, get comfortable. This story isn't just about hardware or electricity. It's about how the US is preparing for a future run by machines, by creating the places where intelligence is formed. Forget Silicon Valley. The new frontier is red earth, closed-loop cooling systems, and energy-hungry chip clusters built to fuel a new kind of conflict. And the impact? Global. Because Stargate isn't just another data build-out. It's a long bet on who commands the next era of computation, decision-making, and authority. Welcome back. Stargate isn't an idea, it's real. 8 enormous buildings stretching across 1,200 acres in West Texas. When finished, it'll hold 400,000 connected GPUs, forming one of the largest machine learning facilities ever created. 3 big names are behind it. OpenAI brings the models, Oracle brings the systems, SoftBank brings the funding. Groundwork started in mid-2024. First phase wraps in 2026. They're calling it ludicrous. After the comedy, sure, but the mission is anything but a joke. When you install 1.2 gigawatts of computing strength in the middle of oil territory, you're not chasing sci-fi. You're creating real-world influence. Let's call it what it is. This build isn't about unlocking creativity or boosting innovation. That's marketing talk. This is about compute independence. Who owns the core infrastructure and who waits in line? Sam Altman doesn't just want to lead AI. He wants to manufacture it. We're heading into a future with tight supply and rising demand. Chips are limited, cooling takes real resources. Energy is now a global asset, and machine output is exploding. That's what Stargate solves. It's an all-in-one AI compound. OpenAI trains the models, Oracle runs them, and SoftBank gets return on every bit of energy spent. Think of it like the oil cartel, but for thinking machines. One of the biggest myths in tech, that artificial intelligence is clean. But every chatbot response starts with a rack of GPUs pulling more electricity than a suburban block. And cooling them? It's a serious engineering task. Each Stargate building will draw over 130 kilowatts per rack. That's nearly 30 times what older systems needed 2 decades ago. They've added a closed-loop cooling system, meaning it fills once with 1 million gallons and then cycles indefinitely. That avoids draining the local water supply. Still, the entire campus will need 1.2 gigawatts of energy. That's more than some countries use. This isn't lightweight software, it's heavy industry. And with that comes real infrastructure risk, global tension, and strategic exposure. Now let's zoom out. Why Texas? Why now? Because we've moved past speed and cost. This is about edge, and China is narrowing the gap. Companies like DeepSeek are creating GPT-level models with far fewer chips. They've had to optimize because they can't buy top-tier components, but they're getting closer. And that's enough to worry US leadership. Stargate becomes a digital fortress, not just to develop GPT-5 or GPT-6, but to get ahead. That's why chip exports are restricted, why the US, Japan, and the Netherlands are working to block China's access to advanced chip-making equipment. But China is investing too. $110 billion this year into fabrication and memory. While the US builds defense, China is testing for weaknesses. That makes Stargate more than a tech project. It's a future national asset. Zooming out even further, this is not just about the US and China. Nations like India, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil are actively exploring sovereign compute strategies. They understand that whoever owns the training pipelines owns the intelligence. That means energy, hardware, and domestic chips are no longer optional. They're mission critical. In that light, Stargate is also a message to allies and rivals alike. America still builds at scale. Now think about Abilene. What do locals get? A few thousand temporary jobs, a small number of full-time positions, and a mayor who still runs his own side business because the city can't pay him more than $1 a year. Still, the city gave up 85% of its potential tax income to attract the project. Why? Because relevance is a powerful motivator, and in a fading town, being part of the future matters. But here's the reality. Most jobs won't go to locals. The economic boost is small. The long-term benefit, even smaller. This is the modern trade. Rural areas give away land. Global firms build megastructures, and the rewards rarely stay in town. Investors are already moving. NVIDIA's price jump reflects more than hype. It's confidence in infrastructure dominance. Oracle went from outdated to critical, and SoftBank, after missteps with other ventures, is back with a deep, long-term infrastructure wager. Want to follow the money? Track GPU rental prices. Watch Oracle's infrastructure spending. Look at foreign mortgage holdings. If rates keep rising due to energy costs, global capital may shift. And that next shift, it might not go to gold. It might go to machine-focused infrastructure funds. Because what's happening is this. Intelligence is becoming an asset class. But here's the warning. Stargate is a high-risk commitment to a future that may change. If better systems need fewer chips, if leaner architecture wins over size, then Stargate could become outdated, a machine city with no mission. Even Microsoft is slowing down some of its plans. They know the demand curve won't climb forever. When growth flattens, we'll see who bet too big. But if demand holds steady, if machine learning keeps accelerating, then Stargate becomes the model to follow. And control won't come from code alone. It will come from those who run the servers, who manage the grids, who schedule the learning cycles. That's where long-term power lives and where global influence follows. So here's the real question. Is Stargate the launchpad for America's next great leap in AI? Or is it a trillion-dollar overreaction driven by money, fear, and ego? No matter what you believe, it's happening. Stargate is underway, and those financing it aren't chasing innovation. They're aiming for control. So here's your next step. Watch the chip flows, follow the energy investments, and understand this. Tomorrow's conflicts won't be on the ground. They'll be online, and the winner will be the one who owns the infrastructure. If this gave you something new to think about, hit like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. Is Stargate the boldest AI bet in history, or a digital white elephant? History rhymes. Power rebrands. Stay inquisitive.